Welcome to our presentation on Dimensional Accounting with Sage 300. Dimensional accounting provides a highly granular view of your finances without an unmanageable chart of accounts. Account segments are replaced with dimensions. Rules are put in place to ensure that dimension combinations used make sense, and multidimensional analytics provides flexible analysis and reporting at any level. This is best illustrated with an example. We have a training company which needs to analyze their revenue and expenses by 7 natural accounts, so this would include course fees and then various costs like catering, facilities, marketing, training costs for the trainers, travel and venue hire. We've got 2 divisions, so this would be, in this case, it's a computer company selling computer courses, so the 2 divisions are cloud and on-premises. We've got 4 regions, east, west, north and south. 8 locations, each location being a hotel where these courses are held. 5 course categories covering different operating systems and the like. 5 trainers who specialize in different areas. 5 buyers who are responsible for sourcing what is needed to run these courses. And 250 courses for the year. And so that makes it around about 5 courses a week, with each trainer delivering 1 course per week. Now, each one of these effectively is a dimension. The more traditional way would have been to use account segments over here. And the various accounts that we are required, just looking at the number of accounts, if we were to use segments here, we'd need the 7 natural accounts. We'd need 2 divisions, so the total number of permutations there now becomes 7 times 2, which is 14. Now, if we add in 4 regions, we get 56. We then add in 8 locations. We add in the 5 categories. We add in the 5 trainers and the 5 buyers. Very quickly, we see it multiplying up to, in this case, 56,000 different accounts. Now, if we were to hold this information at the individual course level as well, it would then push it up to a staggering 14 million accounts per year. Clearly quite unmanageable. So the alternative here is to use dimensional accounting, which provides a highly granular view of your finances without an unmanageable chart of accounts. In this instance, instead of the 14 million accounts a year, we'll now have 7 accounts and 6 dimensions or optional fields. Why don't we just use Sage 300's optional fields, you may ask? Well, there's a very real difficulty around data entry of optional fields. It's hard maintaining the integrity of the data. You may end up with permutations of dimensions which just don't make sense. You can't budget at this detailed level, and you're unable to easily analyze and report by dimension. Step 1, entering our accounts. We just need these accounts, these 7 accounts: course fees, catering, facilities, marketing, trainer costs, travel and venue hire, and they would just be entered into Sage in the normal way. Step 2 is to enter the optional fields or dimensions, and here we're entering the buyers, the courses, the types of courses or course categories, the divisions, locations, regions, and trainers. The next step in Extender is to create a custom table to hold the course information. The screen on the left shows us how that table is created within Extender, and to the right, the screen that people would be able to use to key that information in. You can, of course, file import that data as well if that's easier. And here we're holding some default dimension data, like the location for a particular course, in this case course number 001, the trainer, division, course type, and region. And we've then got some non-financial data, including the budgeted number of attendees, the actual number of attendees, and the average net promoter score, all of which can be used for further analysis down the track. Step 4 is then to flatten your optional fields and turn them into columns to facilitate reporting. Now, those of you who have created reports against Sage's optional fields will know how tricky it is with the use of subreports and the like. So what we can do here with the data views module is change that and allow us to then treat these optional fields or dimensions just as standard columns to facilitate reporting and make it much quicker. So here we're seeing the result of that flattening in Microsoft SQL Server, in Crystal Reports, and also in Info Explorer. The next step is to actually put your budgeted information into Sage 300 at the level you require. What we've got in the top left-hand corner is the data entry screen should we want to enter that manually. So we can, in this case, it's GL revenue account number 4300 and the course ID is C001 and we're entering an expected revenue figure of 21,000. We could be doing that instead of entering it in this fashion or importing it the standard Sage 300 way. We could be using an Excel spreadsheet and the included add-in with optional tables, which lets you then write directly back from the spreadsheet directly through into the budget set area using the formula that's highlighted there. We could also use Info Explorer and Info Explorer's write back capability. So here what you're able to do in the same environment that you're analyzing this information, you're actually able to budget as well and write that information back into Sage 300 for analysis and reporting purposes. The next step is to make sure that data input is as easy as possible. And traditionally, entering optional fields can be tricky. It involves a number of mouse clicks and the like. And with Extender, what we can do is turn these optional fields into standard columns in the grid. So in this example over here, what we have is a course and a buyer that needs to be entered. We're looking at the standard accounts payable invoice entry screen. And based on that information, the remaining dimensions get defaulted automatically. So in this case, the course type is defaulted through as being Mac. The division is on premises. The trainer is Steve. The region is the North region, and the location has been defaulted through as well. In this case, the company had decided that it would stay fixed to not allow the override of those defaulted dimensions, but of course you could make those editable as well, depending on the exact requirements. And lastly, what we need to do is create the cubes required and reports required to analyze this multi-dimensional data that we now have. In the top right-hand corner, we have the information at a very detailed level. It's at the course level. We've got actual and budgeted amounts. We've got actual attendees. We've got the budgeted number of attendees, along with the net promoter score that was allocated by the attendees to that particular course. We can also analyze, slice and dice the data. In the bottom left-hand corner, we're looking at the cloud division, and under the cloud division, we've got AWS and Azure. And within that, we've summarized the information up. So there are a number of courses sitting in there, and we're able to see the actual versus budgeted amounts. We can also graph similar information, and all of this can be achieved through Info Explorer, but certainly other analysis tools can be used as well for the purpose of this. But what we might do now is jump into Sage 300 and just see some of this happening in action. Now, Info Explorer is a BI tool, great for slicing and dicing many dimensions, and has some great features like being able to drill back into Sage 300, and I'll show that to you in a minute. There are a number of other tools out there, so if you're already using something else, then you can more than likely continue to use just that. But to give you an idea, here we can have graphs. We've got a graph here of actual versus budget by course type. We've got course locations, the hotels where these courses are being run at. At the bottom here, we've got an analysis of our income statement by region at the top here. So we've got cloud and on-premises, and then under that we've got revenue types: AWS, Azure, Linux, Mac, and Windows. And below that, as rows, we've got our revenue and related expenses. If we want to look at things in more detail, here we've got course details, and here we can drill right into individual courses to see exactly what amounts are there, what actual revenue, budgeted revenue, actual and budgeted attendees, net promoter scores and the like. And here we've got another one which is more focused specifically on net promoter scores by course over here, or if we decided to look at the summary information, we'd get the average net promoter score then for a range of courses that have been held. But moving into have a look at something more financial, here we're looking at actual and budgeted figures by division, and we can then drill into successive layers of detail. We can go down to course type, we can go down to the actual underlying accounts. We can pull in other dimensions as well. So if we wanted to pull a trainer in here, for example, we could do just that. And we could then see exactly how we're going by trainer instead. We can then drill into that. So if we want to see how this trainer bill is going, if we drill in, we can see how he's going in terms of the different divisions he's working for, the different courses he's giving, and we can then see the more detailed information around the revenue he's generating and the associated expenses. If we no longer want to see him, we can take him out again. And similarly, we might not want to see information at perhaps the course type level, or we might want to pull something else down. So hopefully what I've shown you here is how we can slice and dice this data. And the one thing I do need to still show you is once again how we can then drill into the underlying accounts. And there, because I'm already logged in, I didn't have to put in my Sage 300 credentials, but I can then get through to the actual underlying Sage 300 accounts should I want more information. I'd just like to take this opportunity to thank you very much for attending the session today. Thanks everyone. Goodbye.